sit here and ask you questions, and you were like, I'm not worried. We made some uncharacteristic mistakes. Maryland's a good team. All of that. Has this stretch that you've been on kind of shown all of that?
Well, after doing this for over 20 years, you've seen enough of it to understand when you know your personnel really well, and they start doing uncharacteristic things, then you throw a really good team on top of that. It's not a really good recipe. And that's what the first weekend was. Like, we did not play well. We made some uncharacteristic defensive mistakes, and then Maryland played really well. So that just ended up us getting beat. But watching how we played, that's the thing, is you start to do things that are more characteristic of how we do things, and how our guys play, and watching each one kind of settle into kind of who they are as players and people. It starts to make a little more sense and gives us a lot more confidence as well.
How fun was last night with, freshmen getting in there and getting a big hit? I mean, does that really enliven the dugout when something like that happens?
It absolutely does, and that's the thing, is we kind of it's just been a matter of where we can kind of put Kaysen in there to get him some at-bats, and we knew he was a really good, we needed Bo to go up there and try to get on base, which he did, and then, Alex does a good job getting a single, and then next thing you know, we got second and third, and I'm just looking for somebody to get a ball elevated, and Kaysen has the ability to do that, and, they threw a pitch down and in, and he got the barrel to it, and considering the ball was not traveling great last night, he pierced it through the wind pretty well, and cleared their bullpen, and it was pretty impressive. It was really impressive.
What are the traits of those teams that are like this one, where it seems like anytime they need a big hit, they seem to come through, especially lately?
Well, the biggest thing is you need the first one, and I think once you get the first one, you start to understand that you can do it, you have the ability to do it. It's just a matter of not going outside who you are as a player, and I'm trying to avoid cliches as best I can here with stay inside yourself and trust yourself and all those cliches, but the key is to understand who you are as a player and try to stay within that mold. When you try to do things that are not characteristic of who you are, that's usually when you get in trouble. Like if you're a gap hitter or a singles hitter and you try to hit home runs, it's not going to go well for you. And so that's the thing, is our job is to make sure that we can kind of make that really simple for our guys. And when you can get a big hit, now granted a home run is a huge hit, but when you can get a big hit to win a game or tie a game up or whatever it is when you need to, those are big moments for your team, and you realize that no matter where you are in the game, your team has the ability to come back and have success.
Do you envision with Will Brigney as the season progresses, stretching him out a little bit more in terms of number of innings, number of pitches?
Well, that's the goal. I mean, it's a matter of his health and how he feels, but our goal is to try to continue to build, hopefully 10, 15 pitches an outing, as long as he feels good, up to, the proper pitch count, which is right around 100 pitches roughly. And so as long as we can continue to do that and he feels good. Now, granted, it also takes a matter of the workload, the stress that goes into it. Does he have a big inning where it's 25 to 30 pitches of stress, and that's a totally different thing. But it's just a matter of how he feels. But right now, we really like where he is.
I know it's just one game, but how key is it?
Any other questions, Brent?
How key is it to have that Friday night guy that maybe the team is confident in? That, he can go out there every time and win.
Tyler has done a great job, and that's the thing, is Friday games, we all know it's going to be a tight game, it's going to be a close game. We know that the team who makes the fewest mistakes usually has a chance to win that thing, and he has just done a great job of keeping their offenses off balance, keeping our defense engaged, getting a big pitch when he needs it. It's exciting to have him out there, and like I said before, watching him go through the roller coaster of emotions from freshman year to now, it's just great for a coach to see, because players who have that ability to withstand some of that storm and then come out on this end, it's pretty special.
Outside of purely results, what are you hoping to take away from this weekend now with kind of Big 12 beyond it?
I'll tell you what, the biggest thing was, going into an environment like that where you're playing in front of, 15 to 20,000 people against really good teams, and you see your team step up. That was the thing, is they didn't cower down to it, they didn't get nervous by it. You want to see your team kind of get ISO focused on the task at hand, and that's what I really liked about them. And I explained that to them as well, that when we go play teams, when even like last night, Abilene Christian, they're ISO focused on us, beating us, and they were on top of their game. And so that's the thing is like we have to also understand that we're going to have a target on us, just like we have targets on other people. But the biggest thing for us is like, when for me this past weekend was just watching how our guys played, watching how they competed against phenomenal athletes, great teams, and then still coming out on top was huge.
Will that be kind of the same thing this weekend then? I mean, going in knowing that maybe you're more of a target than they are for you, or how do you approach that game?
Well, the biggest thing is we just need to continue to play well. Columbia is a very talented team. They've beaten some good teams already. So for us, it's just a matter of going out and playing the baseball that we know how, and keeping the focus and the target on the game and not so much your opponent. And that's what I think our guys have done really well. Is they're not so worried about what the other color uniform is as opposed to just playing against the game and executing offensively and defensively. And when you do that, you're going to have some success.
Any trademark or anything about Columbia baseball that you know?
I've played Coach Beretti quite a bit, even from my days on the West Coast. They kind of play a very similar West Coast style of play. They like to do a lot of different things when they have the opportunity, so we just have to make sure that we minimize the free bases the best we can.
He finally did give up a run in the ninth, but so is it time to start a new scoreless inning streak?
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm never worried about it. I don't think of having a scoreless streak. I just think of going out there and putting up a zero, give my team a chance to win.
Was that your best stuff, you think, or that game?
I mean, I don't think I've hit my ceiling, but I think that's the best I've performed in my 5 years, yes.
How, I don't know, frustrating would be the word, but how much did you want to finish that game?
I wanted to finish, giving up the home run, giving up the double. They're tough, but I knew physically I was getting kind of drained. It's still early in the season, the conditioning aspect in that. Getting up and down isn't quite there yet, but I fully trust Marriott to come in and finish the game for me.
What's it like to be in a groove like that, where it just seems like every pitch you're throwing is working for you?
It's fun. Everything's going quick. You love a quick ball game. You love getting in the dugout, kind of sitting, you relax for a minute, team scores a couple runs, you get back out there and you shut them down, let your team hit again.
That's Kyle this, but that first weekend against Maryland, and Rod said it that whole weekend, he was like, we made some uncharacteristic mistakes, I'm not really that worried, and you guys have kind of shown that since. I mean, did anything change at all?
I mean, I don't think there's a huge change. We've cleaned up a little bit of things, and really just confidence in ourselves. We know we can go out there and execute. We know we can throw strikes. We know we can handle anything with anyone. And we finally realized that against Duke, and we're rolling from there.
For you talked about the UCLA game and how well you pitched, but it seems like that's kind of a microcosm of what you guys have been lately, taking advantage of those moments, because Kyle thinks he gets ball 4, doesn't get walked, hits a home run that ends up being the decider in that one. You guys have seemed to come big in the big moments. What about this team has allowed you all to do that?
Just executing the big moments. Take advantage of what we're given. I mean, if you have another chance to see another fastball or see another pitch, back up at the plate, do some damage, Don't umpire is kind of one of our big things. Play the game and take what it gives you.
For y'all, what's the importance of this weekend, obviously, this year, kind of on the horizon?
Yeah, wins are important. We would love to come out and sweep, but as long as we win the series, I think we'll be happy. 3-0, couldn't ask for anything better. But as long as we're hitting the ball, we're confident, guys are throwing strikes, guys feel good, stay healthy, I don't think we're worried.
I assume you guys are just naturally confident, but how big is a weekend like what you had in Houston to maybe even add to that?
It's huge. Like I said, we kind of had to get some confidence early on. Maryland swept us. It is what it is, but to go out and play the number 25 or 23 and 6 and whatever everyone was, and we competed with them. We knocked all of them around at some point in every game. It just shows that we can compete with anybody.
Maybe not pressure, but how key is it for you to come out and kind of set the tone for a weekend, and this is your second year as a Friday night starter?
Yeah, it's everything. For me to come out and just throw that first pitch of the game as a strike, that sets the energy. Maryland, I know I did not go out there and throw a first pitch strike, and the dugout was silent. And so when you go out and you throw the first pitch of the game as strike one, gets everybody going, it sets the tone.
You guys are playing pretty well right now. I mean, what kind of has maybe changed from that very first series against Maryland to this stretch that you've been on?
Yeah, I don't we don't really kind of look too much in that first series in Maryland. It was kind of getting our feet wet, starting the season, and we kind of just started getting going, rolling. Everybody's clicking together as a group, and got some good energy going right now as a team.
How cool was that to see the freshman pinch hit home run?
Oh, that was awesome. Kaysen, he's been through kind of a good amount coming into the season, and just getting that opportunity for him and connecting there was awesome to see. It was perfect. Great moment.
You personally had it going pretty well down in Houston. I mean, what's working for you?
Just being more aggressive in the strike zone, getting a pitch to hit, and not being passive, and just trying to help my team out as much as I can.
For you guys, what about this team has made you so good in those big moments? Jerry talked about ACU, UCLA, a big home run when y'all need it, LSU, a big home run when y'all need it, so on and so forth.
Just kind of got some experience now. It's coming from last year, and just not letting those situations get to us. Just knowing that we have what it takes, and everybody can contribute in their ways, and just staying positive and not letting pressure just really affect us as much.
Other than wins, what do you guys hope to get out of this weekend before Big 12 shows up next week?
Just keep getting momentum. Just kind of start piecing some things together and getting momentum going into the conference and TCU.
Is there a confidence level maybe now that maybe you didn't have at the start of the season? Or, I mean, and I'm talking about for the whole team.
I wouldn't say didn't have, but definitely building on it. And
Right.
it's just like winning, it gets contagious, and energy gets contagious, and we got to stay positive, and everybody's up in the dugout, and it gets going, and it'll be fun.
Is this one weekend, maybe they all are, but it's about y'all, that kind of thing? I mean, not knowing maybe that much about Columbia, or, how do y'all approach that?
Yeah, I mean, if we play our game, we can compete. We showed last week we can compete with any best in the country. Those three teams we played, they're up there as best in country, and if we play our brand of baseball and continue to execute and stuff, it'll be good for us.
Yeah, do you guys take a lot of confidence out of that weekend last week?
Definitely, it just shows us that we can compete with the best in the game.